Hello and welcome to the channel. Today is Happy Mother's Day. Today we are digging into the hood that has some structure damage, and I've dug far enough in to find out that we've got a base layer of like epoxy resin, and somebody masked that over with some Bondo, and I've probably dug far enough. I mean, they've got some metal down inside of there, and these screws had this patch right on top. It's a pretty thick piece of steel, and I've dug long enough to joust my thumb. We're having lots of fun. So the whole plan is just to strengthen and reinforce. Not trying to do any miracles here, but I would like the hood to not be cracking on this side, and there is a crack that draws down the edge from the other side and across about 2 inches, and then there's a gap, and then there's a crack right about here. So we're just trying to keep it. Now watch this. So I've got it braced up here to put some pressure, but watch the gap movement. So I'm thinking we're just going to lay in some epoxy hardener once I expose a little more and rough this all up. Rough it up really good. Everything's going to get scratched probably with this saw. It's a cool saw blade. Some epoxy hardener and wet out some fiberglass cloth. Lay it right on here after I fill this in. And I put these screws back in here because I believe that whoever put that metal down in there, that's, you know, it could help. I may or may not use it. I might just overlay everything and not put the metal patch back on. I was thinking about a slim piece of angle aluminum, or maybe a different piece that's more custom shaped to this piece here. So it's evolving. So I'm just going to scrape it out a little more, and you know, I don't want to waste a whole lot of time on this. Just going to reinforce it, let it cure up, and get the hood back on the car, because I didn't buy it to work on it. So this purpose of this video is to show progress, steps, and serve as an update for the C-3 1968 Corvette. Oh yeah. Okay, this is the progress. I've roughed up everything almost. I've scratched, I've peeled, I've pried, I've scraped. And I know putting epoxy over Bondo, no, don't do it. And it's concerning, this repair, that it's a fiberglass car, and there's not one shred of fiberglass cloth on this repair. Lame. But I'm not here to complain about that. I'm just here to strengthen it up because I want to open the hood multiple times without this bothering me, and this is right above the driver's side where the hood hinge mounts. So progress is progress. We're going to make it stronger. All right, we're getting closer and closer to the moment when I mix up some fiberglass epoxy resin. And I figured in the meantime, I had to trim this cloth anyway, that I'm going to take some of this trimmings, try to fill it into these holes. So when I put the resin down, I want it to have some backing. I want it to just pour on in there. So we're packing these holes. Seemed like a good idea. The hard part is just trying to get it just in the hole without it just going all the way into this cavity inside the hood structure. But this hood has got just a nasty cracks everywhere. This right here goes to the other side under the paint, and you can see it. This whole thing has been covered in Bondo and just a little bit of epoxy resin. More Bondo than anything, and it's just a crap repair. And so my whole idea is that this is what happens every time I lifted the hood. I'm like looking at this thing flex, and I want to be able to lift the hood without thinking about anything except for the engine. So decided we're going to see what we can do. I've got mad boat repair skills. I know I've never used Bondo on my boat ever. Whoever repaired this was like not a Corvette repairman. So who knows? Doesn't matter. Someone's gonna come along someday and they're gonna blame me for all of this. Doesn't matter. Alright, we're just gonna have some fun here. I have a serious aversion to breathing Bondo dust, or I would grind all this off. So I haven't used any power tools at all, actually. Just use this cool saw blade, a knife, a screwdriver, and some elbow grease. And I've been vacuuming intermittently. Try not to kick up a lot of dust. This is a workshop, not a body shop. All right. But there are a lot of holes here. There's holes down on the side. And holes everywhere. So I'm just going to keep stuffing. We'll get back to you soon. Oh, right, look at that. Okay, it doesn't have to go inside the lines. The lines are just a guide, just a mental guide more than anything. All right, we're going to do it. We're doing it. I got my ye old-fashioned mixing bowl. This was ceramic. It still is, but I dropped it once and it didn't break. Surprised. So I got to ask myself, how much epoxy is going to be enough to wet out this whole piece? Just going to mix it until it's all one color. Nice thorough mix. Quickly. What can happen if it's warmer and you don't dissipate this, that's a lot, it's going to get hot real quick. Chemical reaction, and you'll end up with a flash and it'll turn into a hot brick real fast. So just be careful of that. You want to get this stuff laid out quick. Let's zoom it in a little more. And let's just start with all the holes and cracks. And I'm just going to get a nice gooey layer going. You want all that epoxy to just go ahead and just penetrate every hole, every crack, every porous scrape and sawtooth blade that I scratched in here ever so lovingly. Just get it all nice and wet. Don't get too crazy. You don't want this getting places you don't want it to get. And I don't mind if it gets down here in this channel for the edge of the hood. As a matter of fact, I want it down there. There's some nice string I put down in there, some fiberglass string. Because my fiberglass isn't really, the mat isn't going to go that far. But this epoxy, it just gets hard as a rock. It's all. So we're just going to wet this baby down. Try to remember which way was up. Oh, I'm overflowing. So, see that? Mess averted. Alright, I can see we're going to have epoxy left over. Which is good. It's good to have enough. I'm already trying to think what else can I repair. What else can I repair? What's this? Oh, part of my band-aid. I want that in there. So there's already a lot of liquid right here as well. So once I lay this down, I'm probably going to be mopping up the edges for a bit because it's going to slowly try to ooze away. Alright, see how nice and clear it is? That's good. See, we got some string. We'll just throw that down. Okay, this seems to be slightly rectangular. I want the clean edge on the edge, so let's put it this way. And now I'm going to try to bring it this way. And you just want no air pockets. You want it tight. Okay, it's still very wet. But when you do epoxy, if you spend time now mitigating the spread before it hardens, you'll be much better off. So I pulled the tape strips, and I've got epoxy heading down this canal, which is fine. So I am doing my best to get it off the very edge of the hood. That's not going to hurt anything right there. I don't need it there necessarily. I'm not going to want it there. And maybe in an hour, this will be hard, but it'll still be soft enough where I can go by with the blade and carve it, which I will do as well. So I'm going to babysit this stuff all the way to being complete. Ta-da! To the rescue. All right, I was talking about this edge here. And so I've got these little mini Q-tips. I can effectively try to dry this out along my masking tape line and just remove it out of there. Okay, my video cut out, but this should help pull the crack together. The screws screw into steel that's already in there from whoever repaired it before. And now with the gloves off, just want to be really careful not to get anything sticky on my fingers. And I'm going to keep working this edge as the epoxy cures, so I don't have to carve it. I don't have to sand it. I won't have to mess with it later. Just makes for a cleaner repair. And she's almost done. She'll be ready tomorrow. I'm gonna have to make a special batch for this. But I almost forgot. I knew I needed it somewhere. Epoxy is excellent. You will fill these cracks and they will be fixed for good.